So we discussed the other day, Hillary Clinton made a very cringeworthy comment. She said, MAGA people need some sort of formal deprogramming. And, people were comparing that to her famous comment of, like, these are irredeemable deplorables, talking about basically half of the Republican Party. And yes, this is a classic Hillary Clinton moment, shoving her foot in her mouth. My issue with it is you kind of feed right into the right-wing conspiracy narratives of, like, it sounds like we're going to be like Mao or Stalin and ship people off to re-education camps, which of course that's not going to happen, but it sort of feeds into their complex. And so I don't agree with the comment. I think it was a dumb comment. She should just go away because she's not helping. She has horrible political instincts. But as I pointed out, at the same time, my only issue with the comment was the word formal. She said, oh, the MAGA people need a formal deprogramming. No, nobody needs a formal deprogramming. There shouldn't be ever such thing as a re-education camp and stuff like that. But do MAGA people need deprogramming? Yes. Are they wrong about a wide swath of things that are, like, verifiably the case? Yes. And so if she just dropped the word formal, I would be defending her, like, straight up. And I'm no fan of Hillary Clinton. In fact, I despise Hillary Clinton. She's an avatar of everything that's wrong with the corporate Democrats. Okay? So, of course, this is catnip for Fox News. They were going in on it. But look, the thing that drives me crazy is, like, the game is rigged. Because if a Democrat says something like that, it's perpetual outrage bait, and it goes on for a week, and they will cite the comment for, like, years to show how, close-minded Democrats are to different ideas. But the right just perpetually gets away with saying the worst, most atrocious things about everybody who disagrees with them, whether it's a Democrat, liberal, leftist, what have you. So this is going to be such a great example. So you're going to have the head of the RNC, Ronna McDaniel, is going to comment on what Hillary said, and in the process, do her own version of the Hillary comments by smearing everybody who disagrees. Watch this.
Trump voters, Republican voters, we want safety. We want our parents to have a kid in their say in their kids' schools. We want fentanyl to be removed from the streets. We want our border closed. So the Democrats are a pro-crime, pro-criminal, pro-fentanyl party right now.
So the argument is Hillary Clinton is smearing all Republicans and all Trump supporters, and that's unfair. But I, Ronna McDaniel, am going to say literally the Democrats are, quote, pro-crime, pro-criminal, and pro-fentanyl? Jesus Christ, woman. Jesus Christ. But somehow that's not a scandal. It's not a scandal when you brazenly lie about Democrats and liberals and leftists. It's unbelievable. All right, let's continue.
Have shown that pro-open border. I'm not about denigrating.
Pro-open border. Biden, who kept in place for way too long, Title 42, remain in Mexico. News just came out. He greenlit 20 miles of border wall in a high traffic area. He's been deporting many people. He gets criticism from his left for being too hawkish on the border. And you come out here and you say, oh, well, Democrats are pro-open border. You could count the number of Democrats who are in favor of, quote-unquote, open borders on, like, one hand. And among elected Democrats, I'm not sure there's a single one. But again, they get to say that. Totally fine.
But their policies are making our country less safe and less prosperous because people are struggling.
What do you make of how she characterizes?
She's always about division. You want to see why Hillary Clinton lost? Look at Hillary Clinton. She's always been about division.
By the way, I don't even disagree. I do think Hillary is often about division. And I do think she says things that stem from her terrible political instincts. And I do think she overreaches and generalizes too much. I think all that's true. You guys are even bigger offenders. Trump said he wants to do ideological screening for people who come into the country to deport all Marxists. Anything to say about that? Of course not. Of course not. Because again, you get to smear your political opponents, and that's just par for the course. That's just a day that ends in Y. She says something that goes too far, and it's an outrage cycle for like a week straight. I just hate how the game is rigged. I hate how the game is rigged. Because, look, the fact of the matter is this. Are Republicans a monolith? Of course they're not a monolith. Everybody knows that. There are some Republicans who, like, just want lower taxes, man. Right? Like, some Republicans are like that, of course. When we talk about Trump supporters going back to 2016, 9 million of them voted for Obama twice and then voted for Trump. Many of them had economic concerns, and they were against outsourcing, and they wanted to shake up the establishment. That's real. So we can be nuanced about Trump supporters. I can be nuanced about Trump supporters and Republicans because it's accurate to do that. But they are totally incapable, and they're not even expected to say reasonable things or say some mild things about Democrats or liberals or leftists. Not a single Republican came out and said, hey, I agree with Joe Biden building that 20-mile border wall. Thank you, Joe Biden. None of them said that, even though he's doing their idea. Obama, best example of this is Obama. Obama did the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. That's an idea that originally came from the Heritage Foundation. It's a right-wing think tank. Mitt Romney did a version of it in Massachusetts, Romney Care. It was a Republican idea. When Obama came out in favor of it, all the Republicans were like, well, now I hate it, and now I'm going to call it single-payer healthcare, nationalized healthcare, government takeover of healthcare. And that's not true. But it's just because a Democrat proposed it. Wrong, bad, I don't agree. Democrats, always bad, evil. It's just, again, the game is rigged, man. The game is rigged. So look, truth, in my opinion, is always a defense. So when you look at what Hillary said, she's wrong because she used the word formal. If she dropped the word formal, I would agree. Because again, those 2016 Republicans who supported Trump are not all the same as the ones who are still with him today. That's very different. And honestly, you should have harsh condemnation for them, and you should be very clear about the plethora of things where they're dead wrong and they're just factually incorrect. But the reality is, if you bring those things up, you're dismissed, right? You're just dismissed and swatted to the side. Why? Because you're a Marxist, communist, fascist, pro-crime, pro-criminal, pro-fentanyl, irredeemable, deplorable on the Democratic side. That's what they actually think of you. And they don't even have the ability to hide it. Even in the context of a segment about, hey, don't smear your entire political opposition and don't overgeneralize. Even in the context of that segment, they can't help themselves. And of course, I'll point out, cherry on top, final point to make here is the obvious. Do you really feel comfortable in a position right now where the head of your party has 4 criminal indictments, 91 criminal charges, and was just found liable of committing fraud, bank fraud, insurance fraud, etc.? Are you really comfortable saying it's the Democrats who are pro-crime and pro-criminal? That is the glassiest glass house of all time, man. And they still don't see it. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.